Hey guys, how's it going? It is May the 20th, Saturday. Had to think about the day for a minute. Just 11:23 or 11:22, 11:23 p.m. And wanted to take you through the whole thing with the Selkirk Project here, especially if you're new or returning to perhaps Run 8 RTS or totally new to it. Might be the video for you. It's going to be a basic guide as to what this is all about, what to expect, how to get assistance, where to get assistance, what you can do, basically everything in a nutshell. This is for you. I'm not doing any developing here. This is all about what you need to do to be part of this. The first thing you will have to go into all announcements. Well, first I'll take you through where the public announcements are taking place. When you go into, first of all, this is railroad transportation simulator.wikia.com. The announcements are not being done here. This is our official RTS forum in Wikia. You can find out all kinds of information on here, but you might get overwhelmed very quickly. We have a network of servers. We have 24/7 servers that are operated by our partners. Tom's got an RTS 24/7 server in Florida. You can find all that information in here. This video is basically about the Selkirk Project, and I wanted to do this to make sure that everybody's aware of what that is. How is it, how is it different? How do you get involved? What do you need to do? And this is basically what this is all about. So I'm not going to go through this part here first. I don't know what that is, but it is noisy. Stupid advertisements. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to go to the Run8 servers website. And on here you will see all the listed communities. You'll see Railroad Transportation Simulator, which is us. Now that is, again, both our public and member-only servers. Most are member-only in regards to 24/7, and the reason why they're member-only is because we don't have enough people to protect the information. We are very traffic-oriented. Not all servers are like that. Every server has their own discretion as to how they go about or want to go about doing something. Sorry, I just want to. My throat is dry. I need a drink. I should have done this first. I apologize. Just give me 1 second here, and realized my throat was getting dry, and I was like, uh-oh, that ain't good. Just give me 1 second. Okay, my apologies. That's why I usually do live streams, so I don't under pressure. No editing, no anything else. But anyways, okay. Apologies. Let's get this set up here. So you can go into find out more details. We have a Facebook site. We have everything that you can find about RTS will lead you to what we are, what we do. I modify this. You can go into our website, which leads you back to our Wikia, which I was showing you when I first go in, or we also have our Facebook group. So that is that. Upcoming sessions is where you will see announcements for the Selkirk Project. Now, at the moment, there's like I said, there's a couple servers that are in our RTS community, and there's all kinds of servers here, all over. Encourage you to check all of them out, especially if you're new to Run 8, or even if you're not. There's plenty of servers available. This is a great community website that's been made available to us. It's a great tool. and it's a great service to the community, quite frankly. So I'll mention RTS just briefly. We have Tom, who's been an admin with me and a partner with me. He became the second server for RTS probably now, it's got to be about 2 years ago, when Florida came out. I was running California 24/7, and then he ran Florida. So I was running California, he was running Florida when it came out. So we had a presence for both the available routes at the time. Selkirk had not come out yet. Then when Selkirk came out, there had been some issues, various things. Version 1, I decided, I was really strong base. Selkirk is now also available, not as a 24/7, but there was a 24/7 server, and then there was an on and off RTS server hosted by another admin by the name of Smiley, and he's down. He's in the southern hemisphere, Australia, New Zealand area, so he's in that time zone. So he will post this availability over on the Wikia. If he ever, I would encourage him to try this out for posting upcoming sessions, because it's a really good way of getting, and I will mention this to him, and also pin him up to this video, because this is probably the best way to get attention outside. The only thing is, of course, if you're going to have a password and all that, you got to lead them back to the website. We have procedures, and I'll go through that. There are various procedure levels. There's procedures for every server that we have has something different and is run differently. It's run independently. We used to run everything from a top-down version where, as admins, we would all make decisions based on every server in the community, and then it wasn't fair for me to dictate what other servers needed to be, or hold back other servers from having their true potential of what they could do, and every server's differently. So that's just totally different. We don't go into that realm. This is the Selkirk Project. This is basically one of the projects, my little baby, that I came back to hosting a server on. I decided that 24/7 servers hosting was not for me a very long time ago, especially when version 2 came out. I realized right then and there that for me, this was my future. Many people run single player. Single player is great. The problem with single player is, despite how great the AI is, humans are still necessary to get a lot of the work done if you want to run at full capacity. Selkirk Project, the last time we were running, we've only been running for a few weeks. We've been down for the last couple of weeks. So we started at the beginning of May, and we were down for a couple of weeks. We puttered for a couple of weeks, reassessed, reset things. I like things where they are right now. They're not as aggressive as I wanted to, but at the same time, I'd rather take baby steps and be sure, not overwhelm myself. So I made some changes, and I'm happy with the changes now. And this is one of the videos, is to help those changes. So when you're interested in a session, this is where you have to go. First of all, you can go to any session you want. You can come on and you can click on this, okay? And it'll here's my time zone right here, so it'll tell you additional time zones, what they equate to. They used to have a time map or something like that, but I don't see that. So here we are at 11:32 Eastern Daylight Time right now on a Saturday. This session is going to be tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, hosted by us at RTS. and basically it tells you everything. I'm just going to read this. I know you guys can read this, but I want to explain all this to you in detail so you understand what you're getting. First of all, there is no projected trains. If there is, all it is going to be is the trains that either we have a local planned, which we don't have any locals planned at this time. We still have a little bit of mock setting up to do, but locals will be coming into play. We're actually getting into the evening hours, so there's going to be a little bit dark for the next little bit. That gives us time to go through the industries, get them set up the way we want to. We have all the trains we want set up now the way we want to, so that's a good start. Now we're going to assess what other industries, everything like this. But anyways, first things first, you read up about it. Don't sign up yet. You want to read up about these things before you sign up to anything. You want to understand what you're getting yourself into. So welcome to the RTS Selkirk Project. The session is a 4-hour continuation of previous sessions. We run 4-hour sessions at Selkirk Project generally. What that means is we'll do midnight to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 12, 12 to 1600, 1600 to 2000, and 20 to 2359. This session will be a 2000 to 2359 simulated session in June. I think my date is screwed up actually. I think I'm still back in 1998. I gotta fast forward the calendar because that was our Conrail era. We're not running in Conrail era. We are now running CSX. 2005 is our new era, but I will change that because I just realized that. So anyways, so there's 4 hours and it says 2005. Full train rosters have been added to the Run8 random traffic generator to spawn on average between 2 to 50 minutes, given the actual daily average of a spawn every 24 minutes. So every 2 to 50 minutes a train will come up. There are other trains that are available AI. You have the ability to take any AI train. When you see the dispatch board, you will not, it is in dictatorship mode, you will not be able to see what the trains are. You simply have to go out and basically fly to those regions and decide whether or not that train is for you. There will be no sign-ups for particular trains or where they are or live updates to where they are. You have to find them. Selkirk Hump will only be used to assemble locals from supply trains that come into play over the course of the 24 simulated hours. That's all it's going to be used for now. If it gets busier and this thing grows, only if I have a core that I can trust and an established core of trusted people that I know that when we lose a couple people, the whole thing isn't going to go to hell. I need to know that I can count and trust people. That's the only way I will expand. Otherwise, you got what you get. Basically, live with it. Suggestions, post on the wiki, do whatever you want. That's fine. I'm always open to suggestions. I'm always open to ideas, opinions, everything. Those belong on the Wikia forums, not during the sessions. If you have an issue with the way I run things during a session, post on the forums. Do not get into an issue with me on the servers. If you do, you're going to have issues with me and you don't want to get on my bad side when I'm running a session. I'm the host. I got plenty of things to do. I don't want to sound arrogant. I don't want to sound, but this is my session. This is the way I run things. We have lots of fun. And nobody is going to spoil it for other people, including myself. So, be so warned. Don't worry about that. Relax. I'm just giving that heads up so don't tick me off. That's all I can say because, people get under my skin very easily. And if you make mistakes, you make mistakes. No big deal. You break couplers, you break couplers. You go over the speed limit a little bit by accident, you go over speed. I don't care about that. I don't care about if you know all the prototypical procedures of how to run a train. We don't do cab rides, any of that stuff. If you think you know how to run a train and you want to run a train, this isn't a complex territory. Go ahead, run a train. Have fun. So, Industries will be also switched every 72 simulated hours. Now this will change. The reason why we're using 72 simulated hours is because it takes a lot of manpower to switch all those industries. So we go through 72 hours of actual simulated clock time, which basically, if we're running 3-4 hour sessions a week, you know, it's going to take about 6 weeks before we get back around to that same industry again. Hopefully that improves. But that's our goal right now. It's a very modest goal. It's attainable, and for now we'll wait and see if that's good. And if we're twiddling our thumbs and really itchy to start switching some more, we'll bring this number down, or we will consider doing stuff more in Selkirk and actually dealing with some of the distribution. Selkirk Comp has some issues. That's why we also abandoned full-blown use of it. So the reason for the long time, okay, lack of typical daily movements, blah blah blah. That's why I just said. You know, it takes people to run the railroad adventures. AI, however, because of AI, we can realistically give you what you would expect for traffic levels on both subdivisions, which is true. You're going to get as much as the little random system in Run8 does. I'm not a big fan of the random system, but that's what we got. So it's either that or I'm basically waiting for a schedule, which I did last time around, and spawn trains on a schedule, and it's a pain to set it up in between sessions. I said forget it. I would rather just go with a random route and take my medicine and have some more fun in between sessions as opposed to making it a job. Locals and other work can be made available on demand as well. So if if there isn't anything now mind you, I want to know in advance if there's people that need or absolutely want to run locals. It's probably not going to happen on the this first day coming up on the Sunday on the relaunch. This is the second relaunch of Selkirk Project. It's not going to happen on the first day. So any additions is up to the owner's discretion, which is me, and should be requested in advance of any sessions and not online in the session. Access does not require membership to the RTS wiki. I mentioned this before. However, valuable info is available to view at our website. In particular, you must be up to date with the latest procedures of RTS, the Selkirk Project, which can be found the following. I'm going to go over that in a minute. It was last updated tonight. Those not following procedures will be warned. Any further issues will result in a simple kick. Massive disruptions will result in IP blocks and other meshes. Now, the introductory video, which I'm doing right now, this will be made available to get people comfortable with what we do at RTS and the Selkirk Project. I will go over things you need to know and enjoy RTS. If you have questions, please post in our forums. You do not have to be a Wikia member, but it's encouraged. Now, that doesn't sound too inviting, I suppose, but that's okay. You know, that's what we are. We're not here to please everybody, but we certainly encourage others to come aboard. So there's my IP address as it is right now. It just changed. If you've been on the Selkirk Project before, it changed. My IP address changes quite a bit. This is why you need to be aware of these things. If these things happen, I will try my best to let you know well in advance. Always check the IP address, and especially check. This is why checking my forum is a good way to find out if some issues are taking place. You don't have to, but it's encouraged. Voice chat system. There is no voice chat system, and I edited this stupid thing. There is no voice chat system. I don't know why it says that. Man, hang on a second. It says none. There is no voice chat system. Ay, ay, ay. Let's try that again. So that's a bug. I saw that come up before. I'm like, there is no voice chat system. Texture is okay. So there is no voice chat. You want to use your own voice chat system? Go ahead. It is text. Is voice chat required? No. Server address. There is no server, so good enough. I don't know why it says that. Maybe that's why people were asking, well, what's your voice server address? We don't have one. There is no voice chat. We are text. You don't need a voice chat. You want to have your own voice chat things and have your own little parties on whatever you want to use, as long as you're following procedures. I couldn't care. But as far as communicating with me, it's gone through text. I will get into this. Actually, this will specify more onto that. I'm going to open this up in a new tab before I sign up here. It is 11:43 now. I want to sign up before midnight, and there's a reason for that. This is the Selkirk Project procedure page. It tells you, it is a Wikia page. It will tell you basically all the chapters. The procedures was last updated on Saturday, May 22th. Item 1 to item 5 was updated. 4.1 to 4.4 was not updated, but I didn't really specify that. You should go into this yourself. Procedure was last updated May 20th. You know, I can read all this out for you, but I'll try to, you know, I'm just going to try to go through the stuff that I haven't already repeated. Run8 servers must be used. A session when first announced may not have a bid board, which this first session does not. However, once a session is announced, you have the ability to sign up for multiple assignment types. For example, you can sign up once for a road crew, for mainline trains, and again as yard master, blah blah blah. Once we know that locals will run a bid board may be shown, blah blah blah. Wow, I'm losing my voice. Anyone participate? Because I already did 4 hours earlier tonight. Wow. Doesn't take much to lose my voice. So on the day of the session, you will receive an email indicating that your bids are assignments and any work introduction that goes with them. It is up to you to then check into the service. People don't understand how this works with Run8 servers. There's a sign up and then there's a check-in. The sign up occurs before midnight. The check-in occurs on the day of the session. Hopefully I will be able to demonstrate that in the next 15 minutes. Access. Once the user has signed up for the session, the host will keep an eye on the arrival. The server will remain in dictatorship mode with no password. This means that anyone wanting to log on and take a look around may do so without any prior authority. In other words, you're new to this. This sounds like it's going to scare the crap out of you. You just want to see what's going on. Come on to the server. There's no restrictions. You're not going to be kicked off as long as you follow the procedures here up to you need to follow this. In other words, if you're monkeying around with switches or chatting and asking all kinds of questions and blah blah blah, you're going to be kicked if you become disruptive. That's why it's important to actually read this first. If you have registered and the host feels you can handle a position, he will then give you access. Tells you what those accesses are, why you get them. You're not going to get dispatcher access unless you're qualified dispatcher. Currently, I'm doing all the dispatching. For the time being, there's not much to dispatching Selkirk, but eventually I will make it available. In order to obtain access, you must register at least 30 minutes before the start of the session. No exceptions. If you come in and you want to run a train and you have not registered and we're in the middle of a session and I'm getting prepared to start things up, or I'm in the middle of the session and you're somebody's conductor, or that needs to get on, or you're to throw switches, or you're some, you want to run this train and all this, and you want to play because everybody and your buddies are all on, and you need to run. You're not getting in. I'm not dealing with it. And I know that sounds harsh, but you know, I need to know who to expect and when to expect them. Everybody else, and that just basically goes for a matter of me. If I'm running and I decide, today I want to just run and dispatch and I want to do housework, that's what I'm going to do. And there's going to be times where I'm going to want to do that. I'm just going to, let the screen go, maybe ride a train on AI and do my live stream, pause my microphone or mute my microphone and just let it go. The only thing that I'm going to be looking for in that point on is if I hear some beeps and I think a train has come onto the territory, because they don't tow me, but I do want users to tow me. Those that are not registered will have the ability to join the server and observe. You will be allowed to view other trains and ride along where permitted by other users, etc. So you'll be able to trespass, you'll be able to view, you'll be able to do your live, your own live streams, your own videos, your own screenshots, whatever you want to do, that's fine, as long as you're not interfering or causing issues. Everything still applies. If you're on my server, these procedures apply whether or not you've signed up for a session or not. So communications. All official radio communications take place on channel 0 unless advised by the dispatcher. Users also have the option to switch to other channels to both personal and other railroad communications. Any questions retaining to the server operation should be brief in nature. And I do mean brief because I got too much going on to be typing. It's not meant to be asking questions. It's not meant to be a tutorial. This is the tutorial. The forums are tutorials. Pointing you to other things are tutorials. This being on the server is not meant to be a tutorial. Personal communications should be extremely brief and taken on the other channels as mentioned above. Questions regarding what is available and what should be taken care of in advance of the session. If it's necessary to contact a dispatcher, please tone the dispatcher on channel 0 with the appropriate tone code for the area. If you don't have access yet to a train, you can hijack an AI radio in such locations such as Selkirk. Hijacking means you simply fly into an AI or stationary train and start using the radio as if it was your own. Tones are the best way of making sure the host is aware you're trying to contact them. To assist in toning, there is an AI engine that will be sitting in Selkirk Yard. Conrail 6501 is located on standby in the maintenance work facility. Simply control F11 and hijack the radio DTMF #1 to tone. That's the area. #1 is the area. You got to be on channel 0. Or you can be on any channel, but you better be on channel 0 to answer that tone, because channel 0 is what I communicate in. And if you're not on channel 0, you need to get to channel 0, especially if you're toning me. If you're toning me and I'm answering and nobody's coming back to me, it's just annoying as hell. I'm expecting somebody to answer me if they're toning me on channel 0. Or any other channel they're on. It doesn't matter. They need to be on channel 0. Because I have no idea what channel you are on or what region you're in when you tone me, because I have no way of knowing that. This should be capable with or without access to also get my attention. If you're already registered and have been granted access to the session, simply taking any AI train and having it crew change for you to take over is fine as well. Just give me a tone once the crew change has taken place. So channel 0, you can get very busy with AI traffic, signals and others calling signals. The reason we try to keep it clear as possible to avoid unnecessary communications is so those running are not distracted from the task's hand. It also eliminates a lot of noise in the background. The AI trains are going to call for particular signals. They're going to try to get my attention when they're coming on a territory. This is just going to make a lot of beeps. If it's just beep, 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 I'm not going to be paying attention. A lot of it I'm just going to disregard and avoid, especially if I'm doing other things and then I come back to the computer. Usually when I come back to the computer, I will take a look at the dispatch board first to make sure I didn't miss any trains coming onto the territory. I will always listen for the tone or be in a vicinity to hear that tone. The Wikia forums are the best way to communicate prior to a session with questions you need answered. The chat system inside Run8 is not a good place to ask questions. If a question comes up that needs to answer, please try to be brief as possible. Denial, loss of access, consent of broadcasting, all these other things, you're basically, yeah, I mean, it's common sense, but read it anyways at your own discretion. It hasn't changed recently, but basically we are broadcasting these on we're broadcasting all this, blah, blah, blah. So you're not required to have a membership, but you should try to keep up both of this document and other developments on the Wikia forum. That's just common sense. These things will change. My IP address changes. All things are potentially changing in future sessions. Don't assume that nothing changes from session to session. Things do change. You will know at least the latest date when this is changed. For example, this was last updated on May 20th. You will find out when this is last updated in this announcement. I will always change it here if you're not going to follow my forms. So at least you have that to go on. But the server address will be updated here. Everything you need is pretty much here and there. Everything else is just extra information that can help you. So what you do before midnight, it is now 11:54 Eastern, you sign up if you are interested. If you're interested in all that and this is for you, click the sign up button. It will ask you your job preference. So I am going to be dispatcher. It'll ask you what time you want to be. This is, I believe, in the session time. Don't quote me on that one. Since it's Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, I will say I am available at 1 p.m. Eastern. I see some people will post weird times in there, like half an hour before or something like that. Well, whatever. Whatever you're here, I'm expecting you to be around that time. If you're not, then I may not notice when you don't show up half an hour later. I'll try to put the session up ahead of time and make sure that the AI is running and all that other gobbledygook. So yeah, so that's done. Special requests or comments, you can put that in there, and then you click sign up for the session. Okay. So now when I go into home and I go over to here and I move down, well, it doesn't really say it. It already says I'm signed up, but I guess not. You're signed up, but I guess maybe it's because I manage the sessions. If I go, so I go to the user list, there I am. Green checked in, red not checked in. I'll get to that in a moment. So let me go to the home page for now. I'll leave that alone. What I'll do is I will go into what everything looks like on the server end. Of course, you're going to go into the client end. You're going to enter the IP address. This is my host computer, so nothing really changes here. So I'm loading up my world. Now that's the Conrail train. What I'm going to do He was going to take off, so I got to remember to always put this one on holding. But anyways, I've put all the trains on holding now. Put this back on. But so what happens is you will usually have when you join a server, you'll get an extra board that you can move to. Some of them, I think the closest one takes you to Selkirk Tower. I think that's the closest one. So basically you go to extra board Selkirk Tower when you join up the client. I can't do that here because I'm on my own server as a host. I'm not even hosting right now. Right now it's pretty empty in here as far as everything else, so you just basically get up and fly here. Watch you don't get struck by lightning. There's a storm in the area right now. Now, this is normally going to be on hold. If you have access, don't release it. Okay, so if you have access, don't release the train because we don't want to lose the train off the track. That's why it's there. So don't put it back into AI. Don't take control of the train. The only thing you have to do in order to get my attention is hold the F11 key and click on this. This takes you inside the train. You can move around with Shift F11. Have to be in the train to do that. There is one spare seat back here. If you hold down Control and then hit, got your keys here, your W, whatever the heck it is, AS. I can't even read the keys anymore. But you move over to the right. So I hold Control and get over here, so that I get, and then I just position myself by the radio. Because it's in AI, this is what we call hijacking. It is currently on channel 1. To tone the dispatcher, this area is #1. If you hit F3, this is where you will also see where all the trains are. Now, because it's dictatorship mode and you are a client on the server, you will not, unless you have dispatcher access, which I do not give to anybody other than dispatchers, you will not see the trains that are currently on the territory. These are currently the trains that are on the territory. I still have 2 hours to run before tomorrow's session. They will change, and they may be updated on the actual available trains, potentially. The plan is to actually put those up ahead of time so that you know at least at the start of the session where the trains are. Don't count on it though. So when you're coming in, you're seeing all these little orange dots around. You need to fly out to them and see if they're available, who's running them, who's on, whatever. They're all available. All AI trains are available to take without question. The only trains that are limited are the ones that have bids for them. Currently there are no bids in the first session coming up, but that could change in future, so the sessions most certainly will for certain local trains. Took a while, long enough. Oh, okay, these guys are getting plain, the ones that are at signals, no big deal. So, as I was saying, the different areas, there's your 1 pound, you're in this area right here. So 1 pound is the tone. Depending upon the area you're in, this is where you tone the dispatcher. So if you're in this area, you use, make sure you're on channel 0. Okay, that's the only way you're going to communicate with me. And then just hit. This is how you do it. If you've never toned, first of all, this is how you hijack a train. You're not operating the train. You're just hijacking the train. You're riding along. You're hijacking. You're not taking control of the train. You're hijacking the radio. You're not here. I mean, you can probably play with some of the other buttons. I think you can even hit the emergency brake, but don't do that. The only thing you want to use is the radio. Go to this DTMF. Radio's in DTMF mode, and you want to hit 1 pound. And there's your response. That base blah 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 hump 396 base. Dispatcher tone acknowledge, wait for dispatcher to call back. He will call back. When I hear this, I will answer you. You will see a message come here. It will say 0, usually ahead of me, answering you, basically answering tone. So basically, I'm acknowledging the tone. I am now ready to receive communication. Now, that's all you have to do. F12. Now, once you've done that, just F12. You don't have to do anything with that engine. The engine has never been taken control of. You do not want to take control of the engine. You just want to hijack it. Okay. If, however, you are in the field and you want to take control of an engine that is AI, for example, like that one, you don't want to take control of the Conrail engine. That's for toning purposes. But let's say, for the sake of argument, this is the train you want to run, and he's in the middle of running. These are all stopped right now, but let's say, now I'm not going to do the Amtrak's. Those are buggers to get around. Let's say this guy, he just came on the territory, by the way, so he's kind of cool. I didn't know he was there, but 380. When did he show up, anyways? He must have showed up like at the last second or some crazy thing, and well, whatever. I don't think it was meant to save him, but so now, oh wow, he's gonna chase him. So got 380 here. Got a good engine too. So he probably won't be in hold. We'll have to put him in hold position or relinquish when stopped. You want to do that. Don't delete it. Don't stop immediately. Just try to get him to hold and then relinquish when stopped. And he should, which he has done now. That's how you take control of the train. That's AI. You have to have the AI access to do that. You have to be signed up and everything. Now you have the same type of radio. It's a little bit different, look a little bit more fancier. So you would again look for the area, which looks like to be 1 pound again. And then we're at Syracuse base now. What you're doing there is you're just letting the dispatcher know that you are in control of this train now, waiting for further instructions. Your train will have stopped. You need to have them to stop in order to take over it. You must get dispatcher's approval to proceed on signal indication, even if, say for example, that signal was already cleared for him, for the AI. If you want to just simply come aboard the train, oh yeah, and then giving it up. Once you're done for the day on the tone dispatcher, you want to give up the train for the AI, you just hit the AI recruit button. First, of course, you let the dispatcher know. It's always nice to know. I'll tell you, he has an engineer on board. I'm going to put this into hold. You don't have to do that, but I'm doing that just because I don't want to be running around right now. If you're just coming onto the server and you want a rail fan and you want to stay around here, that's fine. Just don't play around with switches. Just, you know, fly around, go to the ground, wave to him just like you are a rail fan. Like, you know, hit the one, he'd be waving right now. He'll honk at you if he's a player. If he's in AI, he's not going to honk at you. He doesn't recognize waving. He's a mean guy, type of guy. That's about it for everything else. I can't think of anything else as far as the RTS side of things. Now, one other thing I will show you the difference of. I'm going to exit out of this now, but I will show you back into this. I'm going to refresh this. It is now 12:08 a.m. Eastern. I'm going to wrap this up. You now go in here after midnight. It should give you the option. I think it's already said that means you've signed up because there's a check box. I'm not positive on that. Of course, maybe it doesn't. Of course, it's already. Let me hit the refresh button. I don't know what time this updates at, to be honest. At some point, it's supposed to acknowledge that you've signed up. Let me just get out of here. I'm going to manage the session. Actually, you know, I might log out. See, because I'm still there. I'm going to log out. Now I'll log in. Let's see what happens. So you can change your session preferences. Usually on the day of, there's a check-in box. I don't see it today. I don't know why that is. But of course, I was hoping the video was going to show you this after midnight, and this is why I in particular did this after midnight. But anyways, there'll be a check-in box and it'll ask you to check in. Just click check in. The only thing that does for me when I manage the sessions, there is a bid board I can use, session ops, the whole thing, but the user list tells me that you are checked in. Perhaps the best time to do it is just before you go into the session. Just to say, or you know, just prior to going to session, come on over here, check to see, you know, who's. I don't know if you can see who's in. You might be able to. Let me see. I don't know what it looks like. Upcoming sessions, inactive. Hold on a second. Let me go back to here. Yeah, it just shows you projected trains. It doesn't tell you who's in. Maybe you don't. Maybe you guys don't get to see that. Yeah, it doesn't say. So because I'm the host, maybe I guess there's. I thought there might have been a view. Manage sessions. I don't know if you guys get managed sessions or not. You certainly won't get to edit and all that other stuff, but anyways, I guess, would you get to go to the bid board? There is no bid board right now because we haven't made one available because there's no trains to bid on. But anyways, there will be a bid board as well. Maybe that's where you'll get to see where others are. I'm not sure, to be honest. I'll log out and log in one more time. And what was I doing? Yeah. Oh, log in. Yes. Then you can register there as well if you forgot your password. And so you can change your preferences, and cancel your sign up if you can't make it or whatever. Just cancel. No harm, no foul. Otherwise, if you're not signed up and then, or sorry, if you're signed up and you don't check in, what'll happen is that your time will come and go, and if I don't see a check-in and somebody else is there, I will give away your position. That's only applicable for bid positions. Otherwise, it's just nice to check in, so it gives me an idea and a heads up. Again, you have until 30 minutes prior to the session to sign up for the session. If you are unfortunately a latecomer and you didn't realize the session was in place, you know, I can't help you there. I'm sticking by those rules, and that's just the way it is. Yeah, if you're, you know, just got back into town and it's like, oh my God, there's a session. Well, usually I post them well in advance, so that's all I can say about that. That's the best I can do for you. We usually have sessions for Selkirk Project on Mondays and Wednesdays. Sundays is an optional day depending upon the weather, depending upon how I feel. Generally, it could be any time. I'm doing a Sunday afternoon session just because I have some availability this weekend as opposed to other weekends. They may be afternoon sessions, they may be evening sessions. They'll change from time to time. Usually all sessions are only 4 hours each. So that's about it. If you have questions, you can always comment to the video. I will put a link in here somewhere so that others, you can see this for future reference. You can always check out my YouTube channel, which should be right there. So if you go to RTS on YouTube, you will get me. That's my ugly, well actually that's my nice younger face there. There's all kinds of uploads. Some of them are relevant, some of them aren't. The more recent ones will have the Conrail background because, well, I was supposed to do Conrail. I'm still CSX. But anyways, as you can see, it says I'm live now. How about that? What to watch nets for new visitors. I might put this video in here. It's a rather long video, unfortunately, but yeah, I might put it in there anyway, so we'll see. Appreciate you standing by for this one. Sorry it was a little bit longer, but I just wanted to make sure I covered everything and anything that you would have questions for. Again, if you have any questions or comments, leave comments into the YouTube or post on the Wikia, and I'd be glad to answer them. I look and answer at all questions and comments. I appreciate it. And that's about it for now. Hope you enjoyed. Again, let me know. Talk to you later.